Ooh, this is gonna be tricky. Before we get started, everybody, I have to see if I'm playing the audio. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Now turn to section 1.
Can you hear that audio?
Section 1.
Can you still hear it?
You will hear a man inquiring
Okay, good.
in a
All right,
tourist
let's go.
center about activities suitable for families. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 4. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
One word and or a number. Okay. One word and or a number.
Hi, can I help you?
I'd like to find out if you have any excursions suitable for families.
Sure. How about taking your family for a cruise? We have a steamship that takes passengers out several times a day. It's over 100 years old.
The cruise takes place on a steamship. So steamship has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
Hi, can I help you?
I'd like to find out if you have any excursions suitable for families.
Sure. How about taking your family for a cruise? We have a steamship that takes passengers out several times a day. It's over 100 years old.
That sounds interesting. How long is the trip?
About an hour and a half. And don't forget to take pictures of the mountains. They're all around you when you're on the boat, and they look fantastic.
Okay. And I assume there's a cafe or something on board?
Sure. How old are your children?
My daughter's 15 and my son's 7.
Right. Well, there are various things you can do once you've crossed the lake to make a day of it. One thing that's very popular is a visit to the country farm. You'll met off the boat by the farmer, and he'll take you to the holding pens where the sheep are kept. Children love feeding them.
My son would love that. He really likes animals.
Well, there's also a 40-minute trek round the farm on a horse if he wants.
Do you think he'd manage it? He hasn't done that before.
Sure. It's suitable for complete beginners.
Good.
And again, visitors are welcome to explore the farm on their own, as long as they take care to close gates and so on. There are some very beautiful gardens along the side of the lake which also belong to the farm. They'll be just at their best now. You could easily spend an hour or two there.
Okay, well, that all sounds good. And can we get lunch there?
You can, and it's very good, though it's not included in the basic cost. You pay when you get there.
Right.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 5 to 10.
Okay, everybody. Sorry about that. I put the answer there for number 4, so everybody should get number 4 correct. I made a mistake and gave you the answer by mistake. Now, I'm going to show you questions 8, 9, and 10 because the screen is split. So after they give the answer for number 7, I'm going to jump my screen down and go down for number 8, 9, and 10. Okay, I'll try to do it as quickly as I can. Okay, all right. But take a second and look at questions 5, 6, and 7. All right, And after 5, 6, and 7, as I said, I'm going to jump down the screen to 8, 9, and 10 as quickly as I can. Yeah, I know what you might be saying. I can hide the ribbon. I'm not that computer literate to hide the ribbon. I know what you're asking me to do, but I don't know how to hide the ribbon. Just click the small button below the close button. All right, hold on one second. Some people are trying to give me some advice. You should have answered questions 1 to 4 on paper. I'm already done with questions 1 to 4. Above the document transformation number. I don't know where, above the document. In red. Oh, this button right here? No, that's not it. That's not it. Right hand corner. All right, I see the right hand corner, but I don't see anything in red. Just nope. I'm sorry, guys. I don't. You all are trying to give me some advice about eliminating the ribbon. Okay, let's just continue. All right. I'll try to figure that out later on. Okay.
Now listen and answer questions 5 to 10.
So, is there anything else to do over on that side of the lake?
Well, what you can do is take a bike over on the ship and then go on a cycling trip. There's a trail there called the Back Road. You could easily spend 3 or 4 hours exploring it, and the scenery's wonderful. They'll give you a map when you get your ticket for the cruise. There's no extra charge.
What's the trail like in terms of difficulty?
Quite challenging in places. It wouldn't be suitable for your 7-year-old. It needs someone who's got a bit more experience.
Well, my daughter loves cycling, and so do I, so maybe the two of us could go, and my wife and son could stay on the farm. That might work out quite well. But we don't have bikes here. Is there somewhere we could rent them?
Yes, there's a place here in the city. It's called Ratcheson's.
I'll just make a note of that. How do you spell it?
Ratchesons. It's just by the cruise ship terminal.
Okay.
You'd also need to pick up a repair kit for the bike from there to take along with you, and you'd need to take along a snack and some water. It'd be best to get those in the city.
Fine. That shouldn't be a problem. And I assume I can rent a helmet from the bike place.
Sure, you should definitely get that. It's a great ride, but you want to be well prepared because it's very remote. You won't see any shops round there or anywhere to stay, so you need to get back in time for the last boat.
Yeah. So, what sort of prices are we looking at here?
Let's see. That'd be 1 adult and 1 child for the cruise with farm tour. That's $117, and an adult and a child for the cruise only, so that's $214 altogether. Oh, wait a minute. How old did you say your daughter was?
15.
Then I'm afraid it's $267 because she has to pay the adult fare, which is $75, instead of the child fare, which is $22. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So how do we find...
That is the end.
All right, good. Now I will try to do what you're. One of my computer engineers or software engineers is joining me. Turn on your microphone now and tell me what to do. You all want me to split the ribbon or something like that. You all are asking me to do. Somebody said go to view. Yeah, turn on your mic. Turn on your mic. If whatever you're asking me to do,
Okay.
okay. Now tell me what to do.
Oh, okay. So can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Just you can see a button below the close button on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, I see that. There's like a face of a little man.
Okay. Okay. Below that, even below that, above the scroll bar, above the scroll bar.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Just click on that. There's it says collapse the ribbon.
Oh, collapse the ribbon.
Yeah. Just click that.
Ah, okay. I did it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Wow,
If
that
you
was
wanted,
huh?
yeah, if you wanted to get it back, if you wanted to get it back, just click on one of the
Uh-huh.
menu, for example, home or comments or
Uh-huh.
something.
Wow,
Okay.
you just helped me out. I'm not computer savvy in that way, so I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
All right, thanks a lot.
Okay.
We're going to go over
Okay.
the
Thank you.
answers now, okay?
Okay. 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 Thank you.
All right, so number one, the answer number one is mountains. The synonym language that they said take pictures of, right? So like I told you, they're not going to say photos of they said take pictures of. That's the synonym language that you should have heard. The answer is mountains. For number two, the answer is horse. The synonym language that they have there is instead of saying ride, they said trek, right? Trek on a horse. All right, ride on a horse. Number three, the answer is gardens. All right, they said gardens alongside the lake. Right, they didn't say by the lake, they said alongside. So as you can see, for each one of these questions, they are using synonym language, right? To see, because basically what they're saying is if your English is good enough to recognize synonym language, you're going to be able to hear what they have, what the answer is, because the answer is always connected to the synonym language. Number four, you already know, is lunch. They said, "Can we get?" And somebody said, "Yes, we can." That language means the same as available. The answer is lunch. For number five, the answer is map. And instead of saying is provided, they said give you, right? And also they had a word order switch. They said they're going to give you a map, right? When in the question here it says a map is provided. When they were speaking, they said they're going to give you a match. So you see how they switched the word order. Map is provided versus give you a map. Okay, so these are the kind of things they're doing in section number one to make it more difficult to hide or find the answer. Synonym language, synonym language and changing around the word order, those types of things. Number six, the answer is experience, right? Instead of saying have some, they said has a bit more. Has a bit more is synonym for have some. So if you're listening for synonym language, you have to listen for synonym language. Number seven is Ratcheson, Ratchesons. Right, you have to be good at spelling, or not really spelling, but being good at what they're testing. What they're testing here, just so you can understand, this is the English test. They're testing your recognition of English consonants and vowels. Right, that's why they have you spell something. They're testing your recognition of that because so that's why they do that. In case you wanted to know. Number eight, the answer is helmet, and they say it rent instead of saying hired. Number nine is shops. They didn't say no. They said will not see any. That means the same as no. There are no, will not see any. Shops is the answer. And number 10 is 267. As I told you, with number 10, they were going to play around with the numbers, right? They're going to play around with the numbers for number 10. They said 117. They said the number 214. Then they said the magic words all together, right? All together. And so when they said all together, that lets you know now they're going to talk about the total. Okay? So this is how you really, a lot of times students ask me like, well, I ran out of stuff to practice with. Can I have more stuff to practice? I need more. A lot of you guys are not practicing the right kind of way. What I mean by that is most students, when they're practicing, they're listening. They do a practice test. They see how many they got right or wrong. Then they move on to the next practice test. Right? They move on to the next practice test. And uh, what you really should be doing is breaking down a listening section the way I just broke it down, in terms of trying to recognize, well, let me go back and listen to it again, and let me listen for what's the synonym language they used. Let me write that down. Let me listen for if they did a word order switch here. How did they try to trick me? Because you need to improve your skills in that way. Okay? You can't, sometimes it's not about just taking one test, taking another test, taking another test. You're not necessarily going to improve that way. But if you go through trying to break down an exam like I just broke it down for you with this section number 1, that's how you can be able to use a listening passage more than once, and also be able to improve and get better. All right. Before I go to section 2, let me see if any questions have been asked, and I can try to answer some of them. Let's start from the bottom and go to the top. Okay. A lot of this is people here giving me advice for a ribbon. Do we lose marks for capitalization? Yeah, if a word is a proper noun and it should be capitalized, I mean, they can mark it wrong. Sir, $2.15 means how much? I I don't I don't know how that's related to the question. Do we lose a mark for a plural word as well, like instead of garden? No, you know, because a lot of times if you look at the answer sheet, they'll have the word garden and they'll have in parentheses with the S. So most of the time you're safe with that. Uh, I got 7 or 10. 7 or 10 is pretty good. Um, but really for section 1, if some of you are saying, like, some people say, well, I want to be able to get at least a 7 on my listening section. If you want to be able to get a 7 on your listening section, you can't have more than 10 wrong. So really for section 1, you have to be great at section 1, because the test gets progressively more difficult as you go. It gets progressively more difficult as you go. So, in section 1, you really should be shooting for 1 wrong. Section 2, 2 wrong. Section 3, 3 wrong. Section 4, 4 wrong. If you do that, you'll end up with a 7. Right now, if you get better at sections 3 and 4, 2 wrong in those, then you might end up with a 7.5 or an 8. Okay. But you have to be able to manage yourself very well in section 1. So 3 wrong in section 1 sounds good, but really is not that good. Okay, you really should be able to get like just 1 wrong in section 1, because you have 3 more sections to go. So now, in case of a zip code, there is a space after 4 or 5 digits. If I don't give the space, yes, it's still going to count as correct. I want to get 10 and 10. Keep trying. If I write in small letters, is that correct? No, don't write. You have to write things correctly, right? Okay, so if it's a proper noun, then you would have a capital letter. If it's just a normal word like horse, like here on mine, I capitalize it. I didn't need to capitalize it, like the word horse. You could put like the word horse with a capital H or a small h. Okay, it's not. They're not going to mark it right, or they're not going to mark it wrong. IELTS is pencil only. How many mistakes are allowed for listening? 8 or 8.5? 5 mistakes total. Arbon, 5 or 6 mistakes total. All right, so let's move on to section 2. Somebody asked